It's all about the S. That's what it is. It's really all about the S. I've got one. He doesn't. What do you say about that? So you want to do like a little whatever?
Yeah.
How long do we have to do this? What's the time limit?
We can talk as long as we want.
So I can talk about my shoes. Like I didn't bring. I was going to bring my comfortable shoes today, and I didn't. I brought my clodhoppers. You could name this one Jerry's Clodhoppers. They're very comfortable to use, but I like my tennis shoes better. And they don't really complement the S because it's all about the S. You notice this is not a Superman Returns little bitty wimpy S. You know, the little bitty S he had on his Speedos or whatever it was. This is a Alex Ross level S.
Oh.
I made this shirt myself, by the way.
That's awesome. Yeah, I didn't make this shirt.
I thought you did.
No, I didn't.
You didn't? Did you make the tie? At least.
It
is shiny silver like my.
I might have purchased the tie.
I hope you didn't steal it.
Well.
So basically, what we're doing is missing a meet. And Nick, I haven't heard from Nick forever. I've emailed him and emailed him.
He actually added me as a Facebook friend, a MySpace friend yesterday.
You'll have to refer that to me. Then I will put him back in the link and the whatever Trinity can be reunited.
Well, some of the fans on the YouTube, I got one whatever online on YouTube.
Whatever was a good concept. If people missed it, people say, "Well, what was it about? Like, was it politics or no? It was whatever. Comic books, shoes. It was all about the S, of course. But
yeah, I mean, we had a really great time.
Let me ask you real quick: is it like, are we supposed to look at each other while we talk, or are we supposed to look at the camera? Because I'm looking right at the camera.
Well, right now. I usually looked at the camera.
Yeah, but if you're by yourself. But and in a larger circumstance, like when you, Nick, and I were there. We'd look at each other, whatever. I just didn't know what the thing was as far as YouTube.
Well, the cool thing about this here is that when we did the whatever TV show on a low power station, how many watts was that? I don't even remember.
3 watts.
And
we couldn't even pick it up in the station we were broadcasting.
I remember one time I said, because I was like, anybody out here, here's my cell phone number. Call me up if you are actually watching. And the guy down the place that was a barbecue place down the street, barbecue place down the street called up and said, "Yeah, this is the only channel we can pick up from here," and he actually watched us. So I mean, and the cool thing is now that we at that point they had that station needed to do 30 minutes a day of live broadcast. Right?
That's correct.
Local broadcasting.
That's right. To keep the low power thing, we had to have 30 days of local broadcasting. And it didn't have to be live, just local. So we did an hour for whatever because that made up for Saturday and Sunday, which we didn't broadcast. So.
Yeah, and the owner didn't have any other talent or couldn't afford any other talent. Right, then
this is plenty of time.
Yeah, this is all
what's the problem?
It's all we need.
I don't get that.
And we got on there. Literally, we would roll up sometimes like 30 seconds right before
yes,
showtime.
And I remember literally just trying to unlock the door. Quick, hurry, guys! You sit down. I'm gonna power this up. And sure enough, hit the button, and there we go.
Just run right on in. And we were just using a DV cam.
Don't check.
Right?
Reflexes have not.
Well, I forgot what it was. A Sony.
The drink. There was a drink thing we did
with water. I had my water, and you all had your various soda waters.
Right. I had Pepsi, and Nick had Dr. Pepper, and hence the Cola Wars was a prominent feature on whatever.
And we talked about the Aquaman, of course.
I saw an Aquaman action figure that was so actually cool. It made Aquaman look cool. It wasn't the bearded one either. It was kind of like the Super Friends one, but he looked cool. And I was thinking on getting it, but it was like $80. I'm sitting there going,
nah.
I'll take a picture of it and send it to him or something.
Do you remember because at the station you had 2 Sony cams that were the same. Do you remember what they were?
They are mini DV. And at the time, they were like $5,000. It's what you can get right now from Best Buy for $300. By the way, they also gave me a high-definition camera.
That's all you need to. You can use that as well.
True. Well, but then you have to change the resolution stuff, right?
Well, no. For up to YouTube, you will take high def as well.
Really?
Yeah. And actually, I know a way that I can take standard def and I trick it. And so it's not true high def. You know how you see some of these cameras that says it's high def?
Right.
And it's got a little bitty nothing on it. I mean, yeah, it's high def, but it's about as high def as that little sensor's going to actually do.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 720, but it's not true high def.
No, it's probably 720, not I, 720 half I or something.
Yeah, because they
0.5 I.
The one camera that I saw that actually had a pretty neat one was there's a couple of Kodak cameras that has some high def on it, and it's a 12 megapixel camera. So
Right.
having that many megapixels actually helps.
But
the
nobody
resolution
needs
with it.
12 megapixels if you think about it. I mean, for a picture, 5 megapixels is enough for the average person, unless you're doing posters. A 5 megapixel picture, if you print it out, is like 18 by 24 or something. It's big.
Yeah.
And then someone says, well, I need 12 megapixels. What, are you taking pictures of the woods and you want to take one little spot and zoom it in to just make sure that wasn't Bigfoot? Then yes, you need 12 megapixels. If you're doing posters for the size of your wall, you need 12 megapixels. Otherwise, no, you don't need 12 megapixels. Save $200, get you they don't make anything smaller than 7 megapixels now, I don't think. Get you a 7 megapixel camera with better optical zoom. Make sure it has a glass lens on it, not these little plastic things, so you'll have a better quality picture. Then you don't need 12 megapixels. Also, 12 megapixels, each picture takes up more space on that little memory stick, so your memory stick won't hold as many pictures as, well, you can get like, what, 16 gigs now, right?
Yeah.
That's 1,000 pictures on a 12 or 10 megapixel camera. On a 5 megapixel or 6, you're like 3,000 pictures. Of course, you don't need 3,000 pictures.
It's some of the same mark. And what I used to tell people about cameras is whatever the names of the older cameras in the 70s and 80s, like Pentax. They make good lenses. Whatever makes some good lenses. So Pentax.
Carl Zeiss, Zeiss, makes a very good glass lens.
Yeah. So Kodak has that. I believe even Sony has that.
I can't remember specifically but if you see Carl Zeiss on there, Zeiss, that's a very good. It's glass lens. And it's a very good glass lens. And the reason it makes a difference, you can get plastic, but the light coming in is not affected the same way it is through glass. So the little CCD that takes the images and digitizes it is not getting a good source to start with because it's a plastic lens.
Well, Jerry, I know since we had to do the whatever show, I guess we stopped. Was it 2004 when we got relieved of our duties? Sort of.
I think it was. Wasn't it? I think we went 2 years or 3 years or.
We did a good 2-year range.
It was good, and every day I would drive from Lufkin, it's about 20 miles away, to do that show. Of course, I did other things there. I was the station manager at Channel 42, and so I did everything.
That was the UPN channel back when there was UPN.
Run on TiVos, yes. TiVo was our friend. We hacked some TiVos.
And it was really, I mean, that was really a great experience. And when I saw Nick and you on there, and I knew I had to bogart my way into it.
Yeah, no, it was great. And you know, there's a certain dynamic with two people. Like right now, you could be, for instance, if we were talking politics, you could be all the way left wing, I could be all the way right wing, or whatever. But you had a third person in there, man. It's like I've got 3 boys, right? 2 of them can play together well, no problem. Any two, you put them in any two combinations, they play together just fine. The 17 and the 9-year-old will play together just fine. You throw the third one in, and it's over. I mean, there's just it upsets the normal dynamic. That's why third person's always good on something like this.
Well, at that point, you and Nick had known each other so much and agreed almost exactly on everything.
Which kind of interesting because he started out kind of liberal. And matter of fact, my login was The Last Witness back in the BBS days.
Yeah.
So he envisioned me as this really old man in a robe. Yeah. So, there were some good debates on there, and he was kind of non-educated liberal. I'll just say that. And then, and discovering more things, he found out he was a little more conservative than he thought.
Well, it was a really great time. I tell you, I really got a lot of my banner from doing that. And I know if I got asked to do a radio show or got asked to do a TV show, which down the line I got to go on Tech TV.
Yeah. That was cool.
And that for that 7 minutes, however long I was on there, well, I had the experience.
Have you put that on your channel?
Yeah, that's on the YouTube.
You gotta go see it. Seriously, this is the internet legend right there.
I try, but I wouldn't.
You don't have the S, but besides the S. You got it going for you, man.
I wouldn't have been an internet legend if it wasn't for the whatever show, because that really gave me a lot of banner to be able to get there and do things.
You weren't nervous either. I mean, your first time you were a little bit, but did I show you the tape of Nick's first?
Yeah,
Nick was like, we were broadcasting to 8 people, literally, maybe 8 or 10 people, and he's sitting there. I mean, he's just fine talking like this, and the camera's on, and I go, now, like he went.
Yeah, that was
stage fright.
That was awesome.
That was funny. But of course, he got
towards the end. I mean, not even towards the end. I mean, within
a week or 2 weeks.
It was like nothing.
You can literally, if it's a live camera, you can kind of feel something when it's live. Like this is not a live camera. This is not live. It's Memorex. But when there's something live on you, I guess it's just because you're aware that people can see you and you can't see them. It's something unnatural about that. So.
Yeah. But it was a really great experience for that, and I really wish that there was some more local. That's one thing that's kind of gone away is the public broadcasting. However, YouTube has changed that.
That's true.
And one reason why Jerry is here today is because I'm trying to. I was wanting to show him what I actually do, how I actually am able to put videos on there, and it turns out that he has all the equipment to be able to do it.
I do. I didn't know I had all the equipment, so expect to see some political things.
Yeah, and down the line, you could even do like this. You could do a talk and like have it talk on a cell phone even, and have the cell phone where the speaker picks up. I mean, little things like that. And you can't do video conferences like we kind of do with.
Matter of fact, I saw yours where you had 3 windows.
Yeah. So what it is? That's iChat, and we were able to get a piece of software that was able to have it where we had multiple people on there, and we recorded that way.
It was cool the way you did it.
Yeah, I mean, it's really honestly. Do you need to see our faces for this? Probably not. Not really.
No.
Now, you can just listen
to
content.
Well, except for the S.
But
you don't see the S if you listen to it.
But it's just folks who have gotten used to the YouTube paradigm. And when we were doing that, YouTube was not even anywhere close to being around at all.
No, I think it was, but it was like 12 people, similar to us probably.
Yeah,
they just took off, and we didn't.
And we could have if some more money was put in that station at the time.
Yeah, a little more money.
Yeah, and so forth. But in any case. For me, it was
a one-man station. I mean, you can only do so much. And if the main job is you have to watch every 30 minutes and do something, then you can't get out and shoot commercials or shows or anything else.
Well, if you had a camera, they would work too.
Oh, true. We had how many cameras?
At least 2 cameras. Right?
I think we have 4 or 5 cameras. But yeah,
none of them
worked.
None of them were recorded to tape, right?
Correct. So we had it was a mini DV camera, they were kind of nice cameras for the time.
Yeah, they were good. They were good cameras.
But you couldn't record to them, so I had to carry along a recorder to record. So if I was out trying to shoot a commercial, it's like I'm from 1972. I've got this big old box here, camera here.
Yeah, it was.
The your cam here probably is as high resolution as we have.
Well, especially since we're compressing that thrown down on YouTube. I mean, at that
Do you
point,
digitize it to 320 by 200 or 640
no,
by 480 or what?
I go up since there's an option for the higher resolution. I go to 758. I think the next one up. So standard broadcast. Actually, it's what's called SD. That's the standard broadcast one I go up to. Then of course there's the high def, which if I make a movie and I like,
I'll play with that.
720.
Yes.
For that there. So, I mean, there's a lot of great options. And the thing about this that's crazy, that probably, most likely, because you might have even posted some of your boards and whatnot like that, more people are going to see this here than probably saw the original whatever show.
Every day together combined. Actually, more people have seen your stuff on YouTube than saw you on whatever for every day put together.
Without a doubt, and that's not downing the station. It's just that
it's just the reality of the internet world.
Is that we're global at this point here. Someone from Czechoslovakia could watch this.
Yes.
Someone from
and they would probably get mad. By the way, you
Spain.
notice my glasses are closer to yours now, right?
Oh, cool.
I was just if you look at our glasses.
And you know what? These actually may be the same glasses I wore back then.
They are. I had these big round glasses, like from Elton John 70s.
Yeah.
Roseanne called. I still have them because I've actually got bifocals. And it messes up when I'm watching television. If I'm sitting back like this, I can't see because this is close and this is far away. Yeah. So I either tilt my head down like this to watch, or I just put on my happy glasses, and I can still see.
Yeah, that's great.
And seriously, when I was 42, I think it just, bam, I couldn't read. Matter of fact, in a couple of years, you'll probably get that. You can't read stuff close up. So I was doing this. Yeah, well, that got old really quick.
Well, one thing that I was able to do, and a lot of it because of whatever show, I started doing acting more. And depending on the role, I just sometimes don't want to wear the glasses, or don't think that person will wear glasses. And sadly, I can't wear contacts. I just cannot put them into my eyes. So
there's something totally unnatural about that. I was thinking about getting some myself, but sticking something on your eyeball.
I can't do it. I finally had a doctor that did it. So I had contacts for like 4 hours of my life. And it was interesting walking around without glasses on and be able to see things clear.
So if you just go to that doctor every day, you'd be fine.
Yeah. If I could afford to have him put in my eyeballs.
Put in your contacts every day, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
By the way, the picture up here, is that it? That's a good picture of you. No glasses.
No, well, so basically, like when I'm on the set, I remember one time I was on the set and they were saying, look over here, Herbert. And I'm thinking, You need to walk up closer so I can see where you're at, so I can follow you back, because I can't see where you're at. And they were like 30 feet away or 40 feet away. So finally, they were waving their arms so I could see where they want me to focus my view on there. And I really wish I thought about doing the LASIK type thing. Sadly, it's just kind of.
You have to do it every 7 or 8 years or something. Or
for me, I could live with that. At least where if it's good enough where I could see like clear enough, like within 20 feet, I could live with it like 7 years from now. But it's just something about, for me, it's kind of going under the knife that I just.
Well, it's not a knife. The fact that they stick a needle in your eyes to freeze them, so you don't inadvertently look up and down and stuff. So it numbs your eyes, and you can't move them at all. And then they put a laser in there, and
maybe
if they put me to sleep, I think I could do it.
Maybe at some point I'll consider it, and especially if the price point comes down a bit, I might think about it.
When it's $44.99, that Walmart special, I might go for that. Yeah. If I have a $20 coupon.
Yeah, and for me, a lot of things. Because the cool thing is, because I've been wearing glasses so long, I got my '70s glasses, I got my '80s glasses, I got my John Lennon type glasses, I got my Buddy Holly type glasses. So I got a bunch of types of glasses. I got sunglasses.
I still got my Army glasses. We call them RPGs.
Yeah. Was it repellent?
Rape prevention. You wear those and nobody touches you.
Yeah.
But they're like this thick. Even if I don't have a bad prescription. My drill sergeant literally picked up a handful of rocks because they can't, even in the 80s, they couldn't just punch you like they used to do in the 70s and before. He picked up a handful of rocks and just whipped them across my face, hitting 2 or 3 people, trying to see if we would get out of formation, because if you move and stuff like that, you're out of formation, then he's got you. And there's still pock marks in them glasses where those rocks hit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Those are pretty tough then.
Yeah. Now you get a little coupon, I heard. Jay Smith, that I used to work with, he went to the Army Reserve, and he said that now in basic training you have a little coupon that if you get too stressed, you can give it to your drill sergeant, and he has to give you 10 minutes to chill, so you can calm down. Which I'm sure they're going to do that in war too. That if you just get stressed and they're shooting at you, just hold that little card up, time out, and the enemy just stops everything. Gives you 10 minutes, then it's on. I
heard a comedian, I think it was Sinbad, he said he was in the Air Force, and he said, basically, if you get in trouble, you don't even do push-ups. They give you a card. And he said, well, just give me another card because I know I'm going to mess up again. They give you, it's like playing soccer. They give you a card, and they give you a red card. You got to sit out of the game. So, okay.
That's sad.
But, I mean, Well, the big thing is that, within, I guess it was 5 years ago. It didn't seem like it was that long ago.
Doesn't it? It doesn't seem like that long ago.
It's been that long since we had a TV show. And now everybody kind of has their 15 minutes of fame if they want it. Now, there's a lot of stuff on YouTube that is not high quality, and I'm not saying the stuff I put on there is.
I see stuff by little kids on there, and they're trying, but some of them aren't. Some of them are just doing little fart jokes and stuff.
Yeah, doing the bathroom humor, the college humor type stuff.
Like, yeah,
and that's fine.
Then they have an adult thing that they label. Not that I go there. Just I went to one that said you have to be over 8. I don't know why. It wasn't any kind of bad thing, but they need something like that. This one is stupid. Click this button to confirm you want to see something stupid, and then if you do, then you can't sue Google or YouTube or any of them. You brought it upon yourself.
Well, the one thing my highest hit stuff is my how-to videos, how to play guitar, how to use GarageBand, and that's the educational stuff is my highest hit stuff, which is I find really fascinating.
I just got my 9-year-old some electronic drums. They come in on Monday. So, yeah, there are, amazing drum lessons on there. I play drums. I'm functional. I can play just all the basic stuff. Real complex, syncopation, and, yeah. And you don't look for me for that.
Well, I learned how to play Boogie Woogie. I think you saw the video a minute ago that I put it there. 2 years ago, I went on YouTube and learned how to play Boogie Woogie off there because really no one in town knew how to play Boogie Woogie. So I had to go on the tube to go find, and I'd slow it down and kind of, all right, let me rewind that again.
You don't have to learn anything on music. You just have it, like, naturally.
Well, like honestly, Boogie Woogie was something that I just, because I teach rock history, I thought it would be a cool thing to get there and play that for the kids and let them see what's going on. And it does help, because the first day I go up there and I just rock out. And if you don't know any better, you think, man, he can really play that piano.
That's really good, yeah.
If for somebody who can really play piano, I'm thinking, And if you read some of the reviews on the YouTube, they let me know how not good I am on playing Boogie Woogie. But in any case.
Yeah, but some of them are just being mean.
Yeah, well, we talked about this before. It's like on online, you say something online that you never say to someone's face.
That's correct.
I mean, if someone didn't like Boogie Woogie, they wouldn't even say anything.
They would just smile and say, "Oh, that was all right."
They might even give you a polite clap, even.
Yeah.
But it's on there.
You suck.
Yeah. Blah 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 blah.
Cut your fingers off.
Blah,
Throw them
blah, blah,
away.
blah, blah.
You'll never be good.
And I was like the retort. Like I remember one time I put something up. I can't remember what it was. A fan. I think it's one of the Star Wars fan things, and they just tore it apart. And maybe they deserved to be torn apart. Then I kind of asked, well, what have you done? And we took some production shots of this, and we done this and that, and have you actually shot anything? No, we haven't actually shot anything. Well, okay. Now I'm not going to criticize that because you really should do that pre-production stuff as well.
It's not as easy as people think.
It's not as easy. For you to have 600 videos on YouTube, and most of them not being too bad, at least something that you could watch, it takes a bit of planning and time to put in there. And again, this is not so bad here because they're having a conversation here. This is interesting and inherent. All we got is basically a screen back there, and that's it. I mean,
but this is a $12,000 screen. You can't tell how soft this is.
And we've got some great lighting here too. So,
actually, it is good lighting. You can't keep some mosquitoes off.
Without the lighting,
Ooh, we're in space.
And then, basically, that's why you need light. And I learned that by going into, here, this is kind of cool, the connection thing. Okay, got to do whatever show. Mm-hmm. Wrote the Nerd Song. Eventually got to go on Tech TV.
That was too cool.
And then post some other video. That encouraged me to make more movies. Then with a movie that I made just to make a movie, that basically got me into an MFA program in cinematography.
That's cool.
An MFA, which is considered a doctorate, basically, it's the highest degree that you can get in the field. For me, making basically YouTube videos in a lot of ways, and what the teacher saw was, hey, this guy can make a video and tell a story and get people to help him make it. And if you want to be a filmmaker, mm-hmm. those are the characteristics that you had. Now, I know back in the Army, you actually had, was the highest degree in editing?
Yes.
Or highest award?
Directing and editing, Thomas Jefferson Award, 1987. Also, I won two, and that's Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, and private stuff like ABC, CBS, NBC News, and NPR. That was a highlight. To get to that, you have to win what's called a Keith L. Ware Award. That's the highest award the Army gives. So I got that. The first place Keith L. Ware in '87, which allowed me to compete for the Thomas Jefferson. Then I won the Thomas Jefferson for editing and directing. And then I won a second place Keith L. Ware the next year, so I wasn't able to do that. Well, I'm going to put those videos on,
yeah,
too.
You need to do that. Well, also like this, tell them what you edited with back then.
Oh, my God. This was like 3/4-inch tape, and literally you stopped. And anytime, that's why when you see stuff today, everything's electronic. Digital video didn't exist back then, so there was no such thing. Like, matter of fact, if I would have had your computer with this software on it back in my day, I would have edited 4 or 5 times.
Oh, golly. I mean, if I would have had this back in the 80s, I would have been, I'd have been Duran hot.
Exactly.
I could have made the videos Duran made, or Hall & Oates made, or whatnot.
Or Rick Astley.
Yeah, I could shoot that. I could shoot that today. I mean, you have some guy.
You saw he won Europe's top performer of all time, right?
I wouldn't doubt it because getting rickrolled is like it's like an honor.
They rickrolled the whole thing. It's like he had 900 million votes, and the closest person beside that was U2 with like 12 million.
I mean that's
so they had scripts, but that's cool. It's the internet community.
Yeah. It really is amazing. I mean basically the computers that you guys have over there, a $300 to $400 computer.
Yes.
Remember 5 years ago we would have killed for a $300 computer.
Yes.
That little was it the little I forgot what it's called. The
Amiga?
No. The small little laptops they got now, the ones that have flash memory on it.
Netbooks.
The netbooks, for $300 range. I mean, that there is way more powerful than the ones we had.
Yeah, they have the Atom processor inside to replace the Celeron, but those are way more powerful than anyone had 5 years ago.
It's a 1.6, whatever it is.
Speed doesn't really matter. It's power now.
Yeah.
Because that's what your motherboard interacts with your processor. So that's why Intel doesn't, they'll put the speed on there, but they don't advertise it. This is a 1.6 gigahertz processor.
Remember we were like talking like 10 gigahertz machines back in the day? Where we were like, we can't wait to get that 10 gig machine, and they finally realized, well,
it's better to do multiprocessors than it is speed, and power always beats speed. In '96 when Windows 95 actually came out. A friend of mine I was in Nacogdoches, and I had my Amiga 4000 and my Amiga 500. My Amiga 500 has 7.14 megahertz processor, and he got his brand new. It was 60 or 75 megahertz Pentium. That's the very first Pentium. 60 or 75 megahertz. And back in the day, when you had a high resolution photo, it would take a while to go up the screen to display, right? Well, my 7 megahertz Amiga would go whoop, and his 75 megahertz or 60 megahertz would still be doing this. It would display it 2 or 3 times faster, the same exact file. So speed is important, but power is more important. Well, power always beats speed.
You always tried the power of the toaster Amigas, right?
Oh my God! They would output at 3000 by 1920 resolution at 30 frames or 60 fields a second. There's not an Windows or Mac computer today that will do what that did back in 95, 96.
That's like so much overkill than high def today.
It is. High def, if you think about it, is 1080 lines. The best one, 1080p. From the top of your screen to the bottom of your screen is 1080 lines across, right? The Amiga was outputting 1920 lines almost 15 years ago. So you still don't say I didn't know you back then, but Nick remembers this. At one time, the Amiga's operating system was called Workbench. I was doing the Workbench in one resolution. I had Windows 95 running in a window up here in a different resolution, and I had the Mac OS, whichever version it was, in a different resolution down here. 3 resolutions on one screen. That's something I still don't think they can do today either.
Yeah, I mean, so it's not about the... Well, at the time, I was like, I can't wait to get 10 gigahertz machine so I can buy some computing, get that AI going, and all that was just blown out the window because they finally realized. I think it just got to a point you couldn't put enough juice into a computer without it.
Well, it was
blowing up.
Juice problems because if you have a laptop like you've got here, you're talking your battery life's gone.
It's going to heat up your leg and burn your leg.
Exactly. Well, you don't want to do that anymore. That's why we call them laptops or notebooks instead of laptops.
Yeah.
Because if you look at the ventral ports on the bottom, I like using that because that's what the Enterprise has, ventral ports. That's what same thing it is. Those ports is what expels the hot air. If you put it on your leg, your leg's going to get warm. But even worse, I mean, think about that. That's the equivalent of 2 100-watt light bulbs inside a small metal case, and you're plugging up the only place where hot air is going out. Not a good idea.
Yeah. It's and really, even in my mind, a $300 laptop today is a desktop replacement for sure, or at least surely 5 years ago, without a doubt.
Yeah. You may want to add some memory to it because they come with basic memory, but
for Vista, what do you think? At least 2 gigs, maybe 3 gigs.
2 gigs, I would suggest. I got 4 gigs on mine, but until I upgraded to Wrath of the Lich King, a Warcraft game, I had 2 gigs on it, and I had Vista Ultimate 64-bit. That's the largest operating system ever made, and 2 gigs was running just fine. It wouldn't, but after I upgraded to Lich King, it didn't.
Yeah, OS 10, I recommend 2 gigs at least for it to run well.
And for the Amiga, the latest version was 3.1. I think they went to 4. We would recommend 128 megs of RAM.
Back in the day. Yeah, the first videos I actually cut was on a
No,
Mac.
not 128 megs of RAM. I'm sorry. 16 megs of RAM.
Yeah, that's all.
The very first Amiga ran on 256K for the operating system. So
I wish, in some ways, I could find an Amiga toaster and play around with it. I mean,
well, it came with Lightwave 3D rendering. That's what they did. Not Battlestar Galactica. What was the other one?
Babylon 5.
Babylon 5 was all Amiga. Your Star Trek movies up until 5 or 6 were all Amigas. So if you see any, matter of fact, you remember the Star Trek 1 had all them clouds morphing into faces and stuff. Mm-hmm. It's all Amiga. So
amazing. Yeah, it's
sad that company went under.
Well, bad marketing, right? Or just bad?
No, the guy would... I guess it was bad marketing, but that was an end to the means. What he would do is... there was 2 main guys, and what they would do is they would put out greatest thing on earth, the Amiga 500. The 1000 first came out, and then the 500 came out, and then they put the 600 out, but it wasn't as powerful, so the stock went down. The guy figured out, whoa, I've got a lot of money. I'm going to buy a lot of our stock back, right? So I bought our stock at $5 a share. Well, then you come out with the Amiga 2000, or I guess that came out same time, 3000, and then the stock goes back up to $50 a share. He sells it, right? Well, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put the 4000 out, and it's going to be a little bit better, but kind of crappy, not as good as it should be. Stock goes back down. This time it went down, did not go back up. Company went bankrupt. Matter of fact, it was one of the first, I think, insider trading cases they had.
Yeah.
In the 90s.
So it wasn't the Osborne effect, which he put out.
Oh, no.
He'd say, next year, we got a model that's better.
Yeah, and then no one buys the current one.
Because, well, I would buy that one. I was waiting next year and buy a good one.
Most people don't know what the Osborne was, but the Osborne was about that big, that much, and weighed more than you do. So.
Yeah, and it was a portable computer, right?
Yeah, only in the fact that some people who are really big, strong, and wear S's on their chest could move it. I guess you could call it portable.
Yeah, and I buy it today. Especially, have you played around with those little netbooks?
Sure.
And I mean,
got them at work.
They look.
The only thing I don't like about them is the storage on them. You know, they have solid state drives, but now some of them do come with the real hard drives. But like my next computer is going to have a solid state drive. They are so much faster than a standard hard drive, and the slowest memory in your computer is your hard drive. So that's the thing holding you back. But you're looking at 15, 20-second boot ups with a solid state drive.
Well, the thing about, I mean, I wouldn't say that for me, that's not going to be a replacement computer. That'd be a computer for me on the go. Mm-hmm. I can check my email, surf the web. And some of them have webcams, so I could even do some YouTube type stuff.
True, but if you have 8 gigs of hard drive space, and you can put an SD card on the side, 8 more gigs for storage, but that means your operating system with programs can never go outside 7.6.
For me, I can live with that because I basically would use nothing but just the stock OS, maybe put 1 or 2 applications, and mainly just use the web browsers on it.
Right, but that's just their weakness, not the processor or the graphics. It's
the
what they use for
keyboard
solid state.
is a little small for me to type.
Bigger on the phone though, so
big. I can type a whole lot better on that thing than.
Are you gonna go see Push?
I'm sure I will at some point.
Good movie.
I'm sure.
I think it's gonna be a good movie. This is how Whatever did, by the way. We would be talking intensely about something, and change subjects.
Yeah, it was.
I'm really looking forward to The Watchmen. They always said that was the unfilmable comic book. Zack Snyder, the director of 300, did it. Looks like he's doing a good job with it.
Well, I mean, we hadn't even talked about. I mean, what do you think about the Batman? I know everyone went crazy about the Batman.
Oh yeah, no, amazing. And I know people say, well, look, in this case, he's wearing this tie, and then over here it's like it's a similar tie but not the same. And look here in this shot, he's got his arm up, and then the very next shot, his arm's down. Ha 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 ha! The movie sucks. No, it should. The fact that it was the second grossest movie of all time, right?
Yeah.
And it didn't get an Oscar mention for picture or director is a slap in the face for the Oscar community to the average person watching movies. Now, it may not be Benjamin Button's Growing Old to Young or whatever, or the Clint Eastwood movie, which I hear is a very good movie.
I like Gran Torino a whole lot.
I haven't seen it yet. I will see it.
The Wrestlers another one is big.
Yeah, but I mean, seriously, why not? You got so many people who've seen this movie, and you're going to diss it by not nominating it? It's like when Titanic, them not nominating Titanic.
Well, that seems to happen, right? Any movie that's really popular, the Academy kind of snubs.
They didn't snub the Titanic. It got like 11 or 12 Academy Awards.
He is the king of the world.
Yeah, until he died. I spoiled the ending. Ha ha ha.
Well, I enjoyed the Batman movie. However, I thought it was too long. I would have cut out some parts of it.
Well, but when you have a good movie, I mean, don't you say, man, I don't want that to stop. I want it to keep going.
I kind of felt at some point, in my mind, the steam kind of ran out a little bit on it. All the stuff.
Well, it was almost like 2 movies.
Exactly.
When they caught the Joker, that was kind of the end of the one movie.
Yeah,
and then
Harvey Dent
went for the second one. But man, did he look cool? I mean, there was no Tommy Lee Jones purple plastic on his face. This was a good looking, like you could see the tendons.
Well, I mean, when the Joker blew up the hospital, I mean, there's just so many scenes that were great. And I tell you, the reason
he was smiling and walking away, bouncing. That was cool.
The reason why his acting was, I think, amazing is that opening scene. He's wearing a mask.
Yeah.
And you know who he is, and you know how good he is. That is.
I'm here to kill the bus driver.
It's insane how difficult it is to try to pull that off, and wearing a mask to be able to do that part there. Then of course the famous pencil scene.
Oh yeah.
And
how about a magic trick?
Are you crazy? I'm not crazy. No, I'm not crazy.
I'm not.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm not. This great.
That had to be the biggest costume of the year, I think.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You know who I think is going to be a big costume this year? Rorschach from The Watchmen.
Yeah, probably.
Retribution.
Probably.
That guy's voice had to hurt after he did that. He's an Oscar nominee, too, the guy who's playing Rorschach.
Well, I'm trying to... Okay, Iron Man.
Good.
I enjoyed Iron Man a lot.
I did, too. I thought Iron Man was a very good adaptation of the series.
I did not see I did not see the Hulk.
You didn't.
Didn't you get a
It
chance
was
to see
good.
all?
What they did was they were kind of smart in this. Now I'm not an Edward Norton fan at all. I don't like him. He's really pretentious and egotistical and way far out there on the left. But he did a smart thing. He tied the television show with the comic book. More people, I think, really know the Hulk from the television show than the comic. So by putting the Lonely Man music in there,
So they actually use that in there?
yes.
Okay, I might need. Cause I remember when Nick and I went to go see it, and of course Nick was a big Hulk. I mean, major Hulk fan.
Yeah.
And
The original one, Ang Lee.
Yeah, Ang Lee. And I tell you what, I liked it.
I liked his Hulk, the actual 3D Hulk, better than the one in the current one. He looked more human. The one now is just super exaggerated, and he has muscles where muscles don't exist. I don't know. Most artists would say, "What did they do with him?" They're just making him bulk. The original Hulk looked like a large green person.
Well, I remember because it didn't do that well in the box office in comparison to the other ones. And Nick was saying, "Yeah, they're gonna make another Hulk movie." And I said, "Well, I don't think so." Well, what they did was they rebooted it basically, right? They did a reboot on it.
Like they're supposed to be doing with Remo Williams, but we're gonna see.
And I guess Superman gonna get another reboot.
Yeah, they better.
Yeah, that one.
He did not have. See, he needs to have this, instead of the little bitty mini S.
I tell you what.
I'm cute man. I'm super cute man.
In my mind, Superman should be able to stop an airplane without any trouble at all.
Well, now I don't want put it this way. You're right. Now listen to this. Let's compare. Okay?
We don't want Super Friend strong, but
no, but like before Crisis in '86, I remember he moved the Earth out of the way with less than half his strength. He moved the entire planet out of orbit.
Let's just move this planet out of the way. Okay, now we put it back.
Yeah, that's not acceptable. But let's put a comparison. How much did that plane weigh? 100 tons, maybe.
All right, something like that.
Okay, and it's traveling what? Terminal velocities, 150 miles an hour, 250 miles an hour, whatever. Okay, someone out there with physics genius needs to figure out exactly how much weight he was displacing by pushing that. It took him a couple of miles to stop that plane, and yet he picks up an island, probably a fifth the size of Australia, that has kryptonite on it, and he lifts it up and throws it out in outer space. Now, to get outside of Earth's atmosphere, you have to travel a certain speed. Superman doesn't because he moves on his own.
Yeah.
But he's moving that entire mass, which is 1,000,000 times greater than that plane. Of course, he had effort. I mean, bad effort. It took him a lot to do that. But he should have stopped that plane. He should be able to stop that plane in the equivalent of 1 mile easily before it hit the...
Yeah. So somewhere in between. I mean, in my mind, he struggled a little bit too hard for stopping that plane.
Well, if he did struggle that hard for the plane, he should not have been able to move that island at all. No, I don't care if there's no kryptonite on it. He should not have been able to move that mountain. The thing I always hate in comic books, if they do unrealistic, they don't stay true to their own rules. Or it's kind of like in the second Superman movie, they threw a bus at him and it knocked him down the street. It's like, this is Superman. In fact, this is pre-crisis Superman. It's kind of like Hancock did it right.
Yeah.
The train hit him. He just shouldered it, man, and the train wrapped around him. He didn't move. That's Superman right there.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I could take my S off and throw it at you. Whatever that was.
I didn't get that. That was my...
No.
You didn't have one of these.
One of my big Superman friends at the time said, "Man, what was that throwing S thing?" I don't know what that was.
Or what was the pointing finger, lifting people up trick?
I never saw that before.
No, it wasn't.
And
I don't understand, too. I don't care if you just get these wonderful powers like Zod had. Superman's been trained in using these all his life. He's way more familiar with the powers. These guys, when they shoot toward him or something, they should shoot past him because they have no control. Or
kneel before Zod.
That's cool. Yeah. I just need to have one clip of just him saying, "Kneel before Zod!"
That was... I mean, to me, the Superman movie I like the most is still Superman 2.
Yeah.
Because
did you see the director's cut?
Have not seen the director's cut.
It's very good.
All right, I will put that on.
There are scenes that are not in either one of them that they put in there.
Yeah, because supposedly they filmed Superman 1 and Superman 2 at the same time.
Correct.
And they hated that director, right?
Yes, they did. So they actually fired him.
And shot all new footage, right?
That's correct. And the ending of Superman 1 was actually supposed to be at the end of Superman 2. Not just for him saving Lois, but to actually to fix all of Zod's damage.
Wow. Well, that actually makes more sense. Even though going back in time.
See, that's another thing. Well, actually, it is time traveling. It's not that he's turning the Earth backwards. He's going faster than the speed of light, He could do that back
Okay,
before the 80s.
all right,
so by breaking the speed of light, he was going back
he
in time.
went back in time.
Correct. It looks like the Earth's moving backwards. It's not.
Well, you clear something up, because for I just thought he picked the whole planet
But that's a dangerous power. You don't want to introduce... He's already invulnerable in all this to start with. You give him a chance, he can go back through time to fix anything.
I missed the bullet. Well, I'll just go back in time. No
That's
problem.
right. That's true. And he would just be going back in time all the time. So, I'm sorry. There should be some kind of... No, don't even introduce that as a concept. Once you do that it's kind of like the Flash, really. The Flash is like the most dangerous person on Earth. Who's going to catch him? You can't even see the man. Literally. He's already around the Earth twice. Hit you in the head 4 million times in half a second. And I don't care if you're Superman. You got to feel that it's going to hurt. Also, think about this. A person who can... Because if you hit something at 1,000,000 miles an hour, what's the kinetic energy going down your arm? This guy's got to be bulletproof by himself.
Yeah.
I mean, let's put the rules of physics there. He's withstanding, traveling 1,000,000 miles an hour or whatever. What's the friction coming at him? Literally, he has to be... It's kind of like Aquaman. They make fun of Aquaman. Aquaman has to be bulletproof. He also has to be at least Wonder Woman or Captain Marvel's strength to be able to throw things super fast, 2 miles under the water. Of all that, and being able to breathe 2 miles under the water, you got to be pretty strong.
Have you followed Smallville at all? Because that was something we used to watch.
Yeah, I still did. Matter of fact,
you watched last night?
Okay. I sure did.
And
so now Lana has the kryptonite strength,
superpowers. With now they can't be together because of kryptonite. No.
They should have put him. They should, because they say this is probably going to be the last season.
It should.
But they should have left Lana out of it and got him and Lois together to get continuity fitting back where it should. Lois now is gone. So I don't know.
Lois isn't coming back?
I don't know. She's not.
No, she's going to come back.
But why? I mean, now Lana and him. If this is a spoiler, what do we used to do? Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
But what was it? How we used to make some kind of spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
When you saw that, you go like this.
Yeah.
Okay. So now Lana has kryptonite infused in her skin. Her and Clark can't get together. So now maybe that will get her out of the scene. So he and Lois can get back together. But here's the problem. You only have what, eight episodes left. How's he going to get out of this tragic love he has for Lana and back in love with Lois?
Well, you know what? I can deal with this. I can deal with that. We don't actually see that on the screen, but it leads up to it, as well as the last
see
episode.
Him in a suit.
The last episode, he's got to be in the suit, right?
And flying. Yes.
He's got to be flying. He's got to be wearing the suit.
Correct.
And glasses for Clark.
Yeah.
So somehow,
that was cool. One time they showed him in glasses with the whole reporter.
See, I really thought that this was. I think we all kind of had this before, like with Chloe, because really, in a lot of ways, Chloe and Clark are just so close together.
Right.
I mean, really. I mean, in Chloe's mind,
Did you see the one with the Legion of Superheroes?
Yeah.
They made said we've heard of Lois Lane and Lana Lang.
We've
even heard of Jimmy Olsen, but no one has ever heard of Chloe Sullivan.
Yeah,
that was perfect. It's like, okay, cool, they got something.
Well, we all thought that, because remember one time she used her cousin's name as a byline, Lois Lane.
Yes.
And I always thought that would have been cool, that she would have kept that up. That she would have been Lois Lane, even though she started off.
About that.
Even though she started off, and I bet at some point they probably had it in there as maybe that she actually is Lois Lane, but she just started off as Chloe Sullivan.
That would be cool.
See, that would have been great.
I didn't even think about that.
I would have loved that, because that's the true out of everybody in there.
Now, I don't like the actress who plays Lois. Nothing personal.
No. But I love Chloe.
Yeah.
And Chloe actually was Lois. I mean, she was the feisty one, finding out stuff and whatnot.
And the actress who plays Chloe does a good job. Seriously, you rock.
She's a great little actress, without that. And she was in the original Superboy. I mean, she was in the Superboy 30-minute show. Remember that? There was a Superboy independent thing that was on for a couple of years.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
Now I knew there was one with Chris Gerard. Is that the one?
I don't remember the names.
But the girl who played Chloe Sullivan was in that one.
She was like a kid in it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Of course, I know the woman who plays Clark's mother was Lana Lang in the movie.
Yeah, and they got rid of all the old people this season, basically.
Yeah.
And Lex, I guess they killed Lex off for sure. Spoiler, sorry, but Lex is coming back. I mean, how can you get rid of Lex?
You can't. He set up some kind of clone. Didn't he do that before? Someone had a clone.
He cloned his brother.
True. So he could have just had one of his clones.
Well, I'll tell you this, the thing about Smallville, that there were sometimes when I see the next episode, said, "Man, it's gonna suck." I mean, how are you gonna do this? And then they keep it somewhat in the can where it didn't suck that bad. I can't tell you. I mean, a lot of episodes. I mean, I don't want to watch that.
What's happening with Doomsday though? He's still in stasis or crisis.
He'll come back. I'm sure.
Yeah. They made him look cool though. You know, that gray suit or whatever they had him with all the.
And actually, you get some empathy for him, because when he's in human form, he didn't want to do that stuff.
Right.
I'm sure, and he's in love with Chloe.
Right.
So
and they had an explanation for that.
The one thing that I loved was when they blew up Chloe one season. Do you remember that one?
Yeah, and her father died.
They took her out of the credits until they brought up
that's smart.
I mean, I was like, no way. And when she came back, I was like sucker punched because they took her out of the credits.
That's smart though. It's kind of like when they say guest starring Terrence Stamp, who played Zod, but he voices the voice of Jor-El. Whenever you say special guest star Terrence Stamp up front, you know Jor-El's going to be there. They shouldn't do that.
Yeah. But I remember. I mean, I specifically remember that they did that right. They did justice for that when they took her out of the credits. You know how and I'm like, man, they actually killed her off, man.
Yeah.
And then I think it was that next episode she actually came. I can't remember, 1 or 2 episodes down the line, whatever it was. I think it was that.
She was hiding. Her dad did die.
Yeah, and it was like, okay. All right, yeah, I thought, and actually I was really happy. One of the ones that actually just started yelling at the thing was the one time when Clark had to jump from one building to the Daily Planet.
Yes.
And to save his mom or something like that.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't know if I can do it. I don't know. And then does it. It's great.
Jumps. And I remember the one time it was perfect jump was he was like on an overpass and he had to jump onto a truck.
Well, the thing about this is cool. I'm not yelling Superman. I'm yelling for Clark.
True. And you remember Lois and Clark, The Adventures of Superman?
Yeah.
I'd rather have less Superman on the screen and more Lois and Clark dynamic.
Yeah, Clark is the interesting character.
Clark's what you identify with. Superman is the demigod that, goofy.
And right now, this Superman, I guess, I think
they need it. I don't. As a matter of fact, I like Tom Welling much better than the guy they had.
Phone call. You know what it is? It's probably a telemarketer.
It is.
Let's be really quiet and see what happens. 도주가 해막다 졌고
안녕히 계세요.
급라 해막다 쪽 이약다 호박다다
감사합니다.
이약쇼 도자 맞다 맞다 자보 못타 자바 바 다자 데보 Devo Seja.
Seja.
Jacob.
Hey. Hi.
Pata Cobro.
Yeah.
Kapla. Kapla.
We're right in the middle of shooting whatever,
Yeah, we're doing a TV show right now.
Okay.
Special guest star, my wife, Roseanne.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Well, see, when you call my house, that's usually what happens.
Yeah, so don't call.
Don't call my. Usually it's a telemarketer.
Yeah.
So.
And you speak Klingonese to them?
I usually just wait until they hang up. I'm sorry, that was your wife. Oh well.
Oh no. She laughed.
I think she enjoyed that.
Yeah, she did.
And we got it on tape.
That's right.
Live on tape.
You're going to put this on YouTube, right?
Yeah, this is going on.
Roseanne, you will remember this moment. There you go.
Actually, I feel a little embarrassed that I did that. Okay, I don't feel embarrassed at all.
That's cool.
Well, I think that's a good place to end.
It is. It's good.
I don't think we can top that.
You can't. So I'll have Roseanne, if she don't want to watch the rest of this, just fast forward to the end of it.
Well, I'm Herbert Midgley.
And I'm Jerry Welch.
And this is a reunion of whatever.
That's right.
And we'll say hi to Nick. He's out there.
Nick.
Amit. James. Remember James?
James. For
so,
he was our little sidekick.
For all our friends and all our fans out there.
Whatever. How do we end it? I forgot.
Basically we say you would say I'm Jerry Welch.
I'm Herbert Midgley.
And
then
bye. Sometimes we'd sing. Remember we tried to do that little skit for a while. Yeah, we don't want to do that. Bye, everybody.